Canada is the second largest country in the world, and it's a place that many people dream of calling home, and who could blame them? The economy is robust, the political climate is welcoming to newcomers, and the weather is cold, just what a lot of folks are looking for. So let's take a few minutes to dive into how Canada became one of the wealthiest nations on the globe. To start, let's explore how Canadians can afford such luxurious homes, stunning roads, and high-end cars. Where does Canada's wealth come from? With a GDP of $2.1 trillion, Canada ranks as the ninth richest country in the world. But GDP alone can be deceiving. One of Canada's major advantages is its low population. Even though it's the second largest country by land area, Canada has only 38 million people. For comparison, the state of California has a population of around 39 million, a thriving economy, a relatively small population, and abundant natural resources. That's the essence of Canada's story. The secret to Canada's incredible wealth is its massive natural resources, worth an astounding $33 trillion. Canada has oil to keep its vehicles running, uranium for nuclear power, natural gas to warm up homes, and enough timber to build new houses with ease. And in the global arena, Canada ranks fourth in terms of natural resources, right behind Saudi Arabia when it comes to oil reserves. Venezuela leads the pack, followed by Saudi Arabia, with Canada coming in at third place. It's pretty mind-blowing to think that Canada has more oil than many Gulf countries, but here's something even more crucial than oil water. Canada boasts 870,000 lakes, while a Western country like France has only about 37. Yes, you heard that right, not 37,000, but just 37. When you compare that to Canada's staggering number of lakes, you can really appreciate the sheer volume of water Canada has at its disposal, which is crucial for everything from agriculture to industry. Even if every country in the world teamed up and tried to match Canada's lake count, they still wouldn't come close to the number of lakes Canada has. If water is wealth, then Canada is sitting on top of the world. When it comes to metals, Canada is in the global top 10, holding the number one spot for potash, fourth for platinum and titanium, fifth for gold, and eighth for iron. The potash we're talking about is used in fertilizers. So Canada is a major player in exporting these essential products for agriculture worldwide, and it ranks second in global fertilizer exports. Just in 2022, Canada pulled in $13 billion from fertilizer sales alone. But here's the clever part: 70% of Canada's population earns a living from services. While only a tiny fraction, just 1.5%, comes from agriculture, Canada's success isn't just about having resources. It's about smartly turning those resources into valuable products like fertilizers and selling them around the globe. This approach brings in money from other countries. The United States, being the world's largest economy, is a huge trading partner, importing a variety of goods from Canada and boosting its export income. Take a look at Canada's map and you'll see that it's connected to three oceans: the Atlantic Ocean to the east, the Arctic Ocean to the east, the Arctic Ocean to the north, and the Pacific Ocean to the west. This gives Canada a unique advantage, allowing it to create its own trade routes without any roadblocks. This is a big challenge for China right now, as it's landlocked on three sides and doesn't have full access to the south, but for Canada, it's smooth sailing. These geographical advantages are Canada's superpowers, but let's dive into the other side of the story. No country is flawless, and Canada is no exception. One of the biggest issues with Canada's economy is its population. Yes, you heard that right, population is a major factor. While Canada's small population is often seen as a strength, it raises a crucial question: where does this population live? Most Canadians are concentrated in cities near the US border, making these cities some of the most expensive in the world. This has led to a housing crisis. In these high-demand cities, a simple house can cost around $2 million. This has attracted many foreign buyers from countries like China, Russia, and the United States, who often leave the properties empty or use them as Airbnbs or guest houses. This creates an artificial scarcity, forcing many locals to work in the cities, but live an hour or more away in the suburbs. Check out the Canadian Shield, an area covered in hard rock that's not great for farming. That's why historically people didn't settle here. Instead, cities developed closer to the US border. Today, most Canadians live within 100 kilometers of that border. Another issue for Canada is its market monopoly. In an oligopoly, only a few companies control the entire market. This allows them to manage production and set prices, which can lead to higher profits for businesses. While this setup might benefit the economy and the companies involved, it often ends up hurting everyday citizens. In Canada, nearly every sector deals with this problem. Take the airline industry, for instance. There are only two major carriers that block smaller domestic airlines from entering the market. The chart shows that Air Canada controls 56% of the market, while WestJet holds 36%. Together, they dominate 82% of the market. So do you think they're more focused on their profits or on providing great customer service? This monopolistic system extends to pharmaceuticals, banking, telecommunications, mass media, film, music, and even something as basic as bread. It's a pervasive issue across the board. Last year, a major bread price-fixing scandal broke in Canada, showing that a company called Canada Bread had been teaming up with its rivals to artificially drive up prices. And this wasn't a recent issue. This scam has been going on since 2001, thanks to this scheme. Bread companies have overcharged consumers by around $4.9 billion. So while Canada might have a high standard of living, when it comes to basic necessities like bread, citizens have little control over the prices they pay. But the biggest challenge Canada faces today is its politics. Since 2015, Justin Trudeau has been the Prime Minister and he's really become the face of the country. However, many Canadians aren't too happy with him these days. His approval ratings have been steadily falling. Canada is often seen as a more liberal version of the United States with a more open approach on issues where the US tends to be more conservative, like immigration, healthcare, and gender laws. While openness can be a positive thing, too much freedom can sometimes lead to challenges. Canada is known as a nation of immigrants, welcoming around 500,000 newcomers each year, both temporary and permanent. By 2023, immigrants made up 20% of Canada's population. For instance, many people in Canada are homeless and living in tents, a situation that's become increasingly visible in recent years. In response to this crisis, the government has dramatically ramped up efforts, increasing the number of pending cases related to homelessness by a staggering 374%. Despite these efforts, the number of homeless individuals continues to rise, showing that the problem is far from being solved. Additionally, Canadian productivity is on a downward trend, which raises concerns about the overall economic health of the nation. On the climate change front, Trudeau's party has set an ambitious goal for Canada to become carbon neutral by 2050. While this is a commendable target, there's a significant gap between the goal and the current reality. Despite the commitment to reduce carbon emissions, natural gas production, a major contributor to greenhouse gases, has not seen a decrease, casting doubt on the effectiveness of current climate policies. How did Canada end up with a drug problem today? It's a complex issue, especially considering that some drugs are legal in certain regions. Despite this, drug problems persist, highlighting the need for more comprehensive solutions. Canada is also grappling with an identity crisis. Originally a land inhabited by indigenous peoples, the country was later colonized by the English and French. Today, it has evolved into a multicultural immigrant nation. This blend of historical and cultural influences has resulted in a nation characterized by two extremes. On one hand, it boasts some of the world's greatest natural resources, and on the other, it faces serious challenges such as drug problems, homelessness, and market monopolies. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comment section. We'll see you in the next video.